Welcome back to the Shipyard. We've got another card of the week for you, and yes, that's right. Talking about Disruptor Bombardment. Not a surprise card to most people. It's a very good card. It's a ship unique card, which is honestly probably pretty good. It's very cheap. And given that it's independent, you could combine it with Sakona, get it for free, and you really don't want people to run a lot of copies of this because if they did, it would just get way too good. Um, but I'm jumping ahead of myself. So what does this do? Well, you get to make an attack. Put 3 time tokens on this card, so you're only running it once every 3 turns. Yes, you can do things like Balana Torres to mitigate that, but essentially once every 3 turns. You put a mission token within range 1 to 2 of your forward arc, right? So out, but you can put it, out on the corners, on the fringes. And then you target all ships within range 1 of the mission token. So you can have a mission token that's out here and still be able to target a ship outside. So you get a little bit more than your standard firing arc off of this. And then you get to make an attack roll against each target ship. And more so, the attack cannot be obstructed by obstacles or planets. So there's a lot to like here. First off, 4 dice against every ship. This is really swarm prevention. You see, when the new packs came out, the starter set and then the Gorn pack, Disruptor Bombardment and Torpedo Fusillade were 2 cards that said, "Thou shalt not swarm." Or at least if you do, you're going to run the risk of cards like this picking you off, just bit by bit. And that's okay, right? There needs to be counters, counterplay to strategies that exist in the game. It sometimes is a little too late, but these are 2 very good cards. So beyond that, what Disruptor Bombardment does is it lets you target through a planet, target around an obstacle, target outside of an arc that you may not have had. And those extra attacks allow you to force your opponent into making difficult decisions. Do I burn my interface generator on this? Do I attack cancel, or do I take a little bit of a hit? Now, what it doesn't help is somebody who's built a very defensive ship, somebody with like a shield adaptation, the Sutherland, Hood, Riker, who's just saying, nope, you roll less dice, I roll more dice, and I get quality on my dice. At that point, there's nothing that a whole bunch of little hits are ever going to do, because death by 1,000 cuts doesn't work to those types of ships. So we have a bit of a rock, paper, scissors element. And that's okay, right? There should not be a definitive, this card is fantastic in all situations. That's not the game I want to play. That's not a game. That's min-maxing. And yes, Star Trek Attack Wing has suffered from min-maxing, but it is not always these are the best cards. This is the best way to build a 100-point list, and if you do that, then you win, or it's down to dice and how you fly. Again, is that really a game? I don't think so. Anyway, I really like Disruptor Bombardment. The Balana I was talking about, I always want to put a second L in Balana. Um, it's this one. If one or more time tokens. Sorry, hold on. This one. If one or more time tokens would be placed on a weapon upgrade equipped to this ship, place those time tokens on this card instead. So that gives you a second use of Disruptor Bombardment. It lets you fire Disruptor Bombardment, well, twice initially, and then it's going to be slow. Again, it's going to be 3 rounds. There's other ways. I can't remember them off the top of my head. But things I like with Disruptor Bombardment are car. I really like car because you get to, as long as you're attacking ships with lower skills, you get to get an extra attack die against every ship. You only get a reroll against one, but you get that extra attack die. Plus, you've got a decently high skill number. There's a lot to like in a Gorn build, and it's fun. A Gorn ship, either the Scorn or the Gressrill, is actually a really fun way to play the game. It's not the be-all, end-all of the game, not in any way, shape, or form. But I've done a top 10 list where I said, hey, these are cards I play for fun. This is a bit of a build that I enjoy, that I've been having fun with. It's creative. It's a different way of flying. It does not always feel invincible. It certainly feels powerful, but Disruptor Bombardment as a card gives me options, and that has always been something that has been appealing to me. Is having options when I play. I don't like being stuck and being predictable and letting my opponent know exactly what I'm going to do. I want my opponent to be guessing and trying to figure out what's coming. And Disruptive Bombardment makes my opponent fly maybe a little differently than they intended to, or a little differently than they have against everyone else. So this is one of those reasonable cards. But yeah, I know it's kind of a bummer because you're stuck flying it on a Gorn Raider. I wish there were more ways to deal with swarms that weren't tied to a specific ship class or even, well, I guess Fusillade is not faction locked. It just gets expensive. But yeah, those exist. Anyway, let me know. Let me know what you think. Do you like Disruptor Bombardment? Do you play Disruptor Bombardment? Do you play the Gorn? Have I inspired you to go play the Gorn? I'd like to know. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and until next time, we'll see you around the shipyard. Take care, guys.